last episode, we decided to finally take the leap and open our sails to leave Key West. We went through some highs.
Ah, we got it! Mahi! This is my first one ever of life!
And some lows.
This happened. Let's go in here and then it just goes, getting $400 dunker on this bad boy.
But we were not prepared for what was to come the night leading to day 3. Alright guys, we did not get away with just sleeping.
It's deep.
I think we're in trouble. So one guy kind of waved and they just kind of left. Could they speak English?
No.
Are they leaving?
Looks like they're leaving. I don't know. Maybe they're going to come back with someone that speaks English.
The front guy, he was smoking a cigar and he turned around and gave you a wave.
Yeah, he went. I don't know. There was some kind of military. Okay guys, so we're our first day in beautiful Cuba. We did not plan on coming out this way, but the weather went a little buck wild. The seas built to like 10-15 feet, and then
it was around day 3. I don't know, I don't think we got much filming in there because it was kind of madness and we were yelling at each other. We were having a bad day.
Yeah, a lot of storms, big waves. It was like 3 days of me straight sailing with only like a couple hours of sleep each day.
Yeah, we didn't plan our sleep very well. I feel like he overexhausted himself trying to do too much, and it kind of just all built up on day 3 with the wind, the waves, the sleep. Things were going bad.
Yeah, the first 2 days, it was perfect, you know. The weather did what it was supposed to, but then on the 3rd day, a bunch of storms rolled in, and the weather just did not do what it was told, and it just kind of blew up from there. And I was so tired. Had I known that that was going to happen, had my weather models been a little more accurate, but just a bunch of squalls came in and got my ass kicked. So we said we got to turn it around. I got to get into like a harbor and get a good 7-8 hours of sleep. And so that's what we did. We ran down to Cuba.
So day 3, we basically, the whole boat shook up. I think I got a clip or 2 in there of what happened. It was a disaster. I don't know. I had to hold on to the cat while holding on to the cooler, trying to lay down and sleep a little bit. Yeah, we tried to get him some sleep, and that whole night was just a disaster. So we knew we need to do something. We can't keep going this way to the Bahamas. We have how many miles away?
It's like 150.
150 miles away. The thing is, we chose the wrong weather window. We made a mistake, and we ended up having to tack the whole time. But we're not professional sailors, so things just added up. And this is the real. We're on Sailing Goodbye Night, and we tell you the real. Yeah. Anyways, so it just went bad. Matt came up with the idea that we need to sail down to Cuba so he can just like get a good solid like night of sleep.
Yeah, we were about 30 miles away from Cuba, so I said, let's just hit Cuba. The wind came through. Like, it came through like 20, 25 knots when it was supposed to be like 15, 10, 10, 15 the whole time. And it was wind against current. It blew up pretty big. Like, I was pretty shocked at how fast it went up. So we've been doing a little trial by fire here. Definitely learning and humbling experience to say the least.
Yeah.
I was doing good though, tacking. I was killing it. It just would have taken me a long time. But it was just, we were chipping away at it.
It was just a bad
nightmare.
idea that we decided to leave.
We went on a not great weather window, but had it stayed as calm as it would have been, it just would have taken us 4 days instead of 2. But it did not stay calm. It went nuts. So it was crazy. And I got a little bit of sleep last night, but I had the abrupt awakening this morning of
Yeah,
horns.
well, so we don't have the proper paperwork to go to Cuba, so we kind of like just slipped in. And there's like, we thought maybe there'd be boats all the way around, like maybe Key West. There's not a single boat out here. There's like one small marina that's too shallow even for our boat to go in. And then we kind of just randomly parked over there and said, whatever, we're going to park here. If someone bothers us, we'll just beg to sleep one night and then we'll leave. So that's what we did. And this morning, they came. And they didn't speak English. I think I got some clips of it. But basically, they said to go to the marina, right?
Yeah, my Spanish barely held up. It was, we talked about it, and I said I can't go to that marina because I have too much draft. Bajo mi velero necesita mucho agua.
Basically, it ended up the guy the guy driving the boat smoked a cigar, and he just went like this, and they left.
Captain just lit up his cigar, gave us a away, so we don't know if they're coming back, though. Who knows? But if they don't come back, I'll say the immigration policies in Cuba are pretty relaxed. The thing is, I don't know if we would check in and do everything properly and probably stay a couple days. And then
yeah, which is even worse, though, are the Google Fi that we had planned on using, our phone for the Bahamas. They don't do Cuba. It's not in their country line. So our phone doesn't work. We can't even look up to say, okay, well, this is where other boats, anchorages park, because we didn't research to come to Cuba. We had no idea we were going to come.
Cuba was just on the fly. And we can't look up where customs is, where anything like that is. So we stayed last night, got a good night's sleep. I went to sleep at like 9. Slept till like 8, 9 this morning, so I got a good, I was up throughout the night, but I got a good 8 hours of sleep, so we got a weather window. We're going to truck it back to Key West. I know, it hurts to say it.
The thing is, we need to go back to Key West. We need to, a lot of things started busting on us too. Our sails started ripping up. Things just were going south real quick for us, and out here, it's life or death. It's not just, oh, well, duct tape this up. It's like, we're going to die out here.
So, we'll see how it goes.
Sorry I didn't film during our reckless time, but it's like almost impossible. You can't stand in the boat. You can't do anything. You can't even lay down. And the water was flying in the hatches. Fish were flying in.
So many flying fish. That's what we should have got film of.
I got one on the floor. The day after aftermath, there was fish inside the... We shut the hatch after that, but the water would hit the boat so hard it sounded like you got in an accident. And then all of a sudden, water was coming in. It was...
Yeah, I saw in like videos before a couple of those flying fish and like shrimp and stuff sometimes jump up and get on the boat. But there was 20 flying fish on the boat. There was 5 or 6 inside
That's because
the
I think we took in half of the ocean. It was a nightmare. It was like we were a barrel of monkeys out in the middle of the water, just going
like
back and forth.
10 hours of like just insanity.
Dangerous.
As the sun went down at like 8 o'clock, all those storms came in and it switched.
There was literally storms around the entire area. It wasn't like, okay, we can maybe sail this way to get out of the storms. They were just everywhere. It just happened. It was a...
Yeah, you couldn't see. Visibility was really bad. It's a shipping channel. Like there was boats all around, so it was pretty wild. I had a reef in my main, but I had to set the reef up, in 20-mile-an-hour winds. And so it was a bad reef. It sucked. And it was just...
To be honest, we did a lot of dangerous things.
Yeah, I was getting my
He
ass
could have flown off the boat. He wasn't attached on. It was raining. It was wet. He had no sleep.
But like
I told him to put on a life jacket.
It was a humbling experience. But yeah, we'll be getting out of Cuba here in about the next 3 hours, and we should be back in Key West by Saturday night.
This adventure is not over, though. We might have lost this round.
We did make it to the Bahamas. We were right there in Sal Bank. We saw Sal. That's the westernmost Bahama. We did go to the Bahamas.
I
We didn't
don't
step
know.
foot on the Bahamas, but we were in Bahamian
No, we
waters.
were at sea for a long time, more than what should be. But we're gonna do better next time.
Yeah, I got my ass
We
kicked.
learned a lot of stuff. We lost a lot of stuff. We lost a fishing pole. We ripped some sails. You lost your hand cranker thingy.
I lost the winch handle. What else? There has to be more. Oh, my cell phone burnt up.
Oh yeah, we almost burnt down the boat. For some reason, the cell phone, we plugged it into our USB charge spot, and I plugged it in, and then I fell asleep, and then it started melting and burnt out one of our phones.
It probably got wet and just had like a short or something like
Yeah,
that.
but the whole thing melted into plastic. The end. It was.
Luckily, I had a fuse on my charge cord that burnt out.
I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better at filming, guys. It was just. It was a hard time, and it's hard when you're going back and forth. I need both hands to just walk around the boat. Like, I can't be having one hand going, guys, we're out here dying, because I'm gonna end up just taking the whole camera and just smashing it into the wall by accident.
Yeah, we only have one real camera. We should have charged up the GoPro. But you didn't want to see me on camera. I was in a dark place. I was like, oh, I'd have been cussing up a storm.
We did get in a couple of fights, but
Only little ones.
it wasn't bad. It's pretty much me trying to come up with a whole bunch of ideas what we could do, and him just angry because none of those are good ideas.
So as you can see out there, I was having some duct tape on my sails. The middle sail, the smaller one we have, it was kind of old and it kind of tore up, but I think the winds are going to be a little heavier than I expected, so we're going to be pretty reliant on that bad boy, definitely through the night at least. So we'll see how it goes, but since I had to duct tape it, the new name of that sail is Ducky, you think? So we'll see if old Ducky makes it back to Key West.
Alright, let me show you some things that I had to do so far. So here, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of dark in here. This bathroom door kept slamming open and it had a mirror on it. I was like, great. And this door kept sliding all the way out. It doesn't ever slide out. So I saw that there was this attachment. Obviously the guy who had this boat before had to do this. And then I just decided there was these little holes that I'm thinking maybe he did this before too, where I just tie a rope. Okay, now it's not working, but you can see tie them together so they don't open. And then a couple of the cabinets down here needed it too, so I have to tie a rope to attach these also. Just a few little things like that we're trying to fix that we learned from our first adventure, I guess I'd call it. Oh yeah, and this happened too in the middle of the night. Some black substance started dripping down the mast. It's pretty much 3 p.m. It should take around 24 hours to get back to Key West, so we're gonna leave now. We set up our cushions so when because this side kept flying out, so we put them up here and we set them up for a better style bed so we can lean against this and the cat can get in there safer. And don't mind, that's where we keep our dirty laundry, actually behind this back piece. But so that's a better setup for us. We're gonna pretty much sail a good part out of the little inlet area that we came in Cuba, and then we have one spot where we need to motor, so because it's really narrow and shallow. So we try not to use our motor very often because it's not the best motor. It's an old motor, and the less you use it, the less likely it'll break. And for some reason, the military guys, or whoever those guys were, they never came back. So they just waved to us and said goodbye. Maybe they were going to wait to see if we stayed another night and then yell at us, but who knows. But we're leaving before they come back.
Okay, so we're just pulling out of Cuba. We pulled out of Bahia del something, I can't remember exactly. We just went through the Buba Canal. So we're out here. Looks like it's gonna take us about 18, 20 hours to get home. Says the waves aren't too big, says the biggest waves we should hit are 2 meters. And the strongest winds we're gonna hit is gonna be like 21 knots. So we'll see. We'll be there when we get there.